Welcome, neighbors, to Hometown Earth, the podcast that brings a down-to-earth approach to all of your sustainability questions. I'm your host, Lena Sanford, here on the Believe Podcast Network, the #1 podcast network for professionals. Here, we believe that everyone can change the world. Do you believe? I'm a Midwest gal with big dreams to discover what it takes to reduce my impact on this beautiful place we call Hometown Earth. Join me every Tuesday as we navigate what actions we can take, big or small, to make a positive impact in your life and the lives of your neighbors on Hometown Earth. Hello, neighbors. I am so excited to have you join me today. I just wanted to say, if you love the show, be sure to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or just share with your friends. Your support means more than you know. It helps to continue to bring on awesome guests and share information that can literally help change the world. But on to the show. If you've been paying attention for the past few years, you probably know that veganism is growing in popularity worldwide. Vegans only make up about 1% of the world population, which doesn't sound like much at first, but that's 78 million people out there that are excluding animal products. And it's growing exponentially every day. Maybe you've seen it on labels at the store or products being touted as vegan online. Or you might have even met more humans living a vegan lifestyle like me. But I think there's a lot of mystifying things about vegans. So on today's episode, we're going to have a quick and dirty rundown with some of the most common vegan myths and debunk them. Whether you're just interested in broadening your horizons about veganism so you can relate to your friends or your family, or if you're considering becoming vegan or changing your lifestyle, this episode is for you. So let's open up that big book of myths, flip to the vegan section, and get ready to make some notes in the margins. The first myth is that plant-based, vegetarian, and vegan are the same, and they are not. Plant-based is primarily just a healthy food choice, and as it says in the name, is based on eating mostly whole food, minimally processed plants like fruits and vegetables, with few or no animal products. But being plant-based doesn't mean you're vegan or vegetarian because plant-based eaters can still partake in meat and meat byproducts. For instance, a lot of people will go plant-based during the week and not the weekends. Vegetarian excludes eating meat, but not always animal byproducts like cheese, eggs, or honey. Being vegan is actually a form of vegetarianism, but it takes it a few steps further. It is choosing not to partake in any exploitation of animals, and by definition, the Vegan Society says veganism is a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as possible and practical, all forms of, exploitation of, and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose, and by extension promotes the development and use of animal-free alternatives for the benefit of animals, humans, and the environment. In dietary terms, it denotes the practice of dispensing with all products derived wholly or partly from animals. So while vegans do eat a strict plant-based diet, they aren't the same thing. Which leads me to my second myth, that all vegans only care about animals and not humans. Now, this just isn't true. And people actually choose to become vegan for a few different reasons. Maybe they don't think that it's morally right to treat animals the way they're treated, so they choose to become vegan for ethical reasons. We know that the meat and dairy industries are extremely destructive for the planet, so some choose to become vegan for environmental reasons. And some see the health benefits of being vegan and choose it for that reason. But for most people, it's a combination of these things. It isn't just extended to a diet. It moves beyond food into a lifestyle of not having animal products in clothing, household and beauty products, and more. Veganism is inherently a political and intersectional issue. Admittedly, most vegans fall short of recognizing and embracing this as part of the cause. At its core, food is political, from how it's produced to how it's controlled and regulated, all the way down to its consumption and accessibility. It all has to do with systems of power and oppression. It's not just caring about the animals, it's caring about the conditions of the farmers and the laborers who grew our food. The people who have systematically experienced food apartheid due to social and racial inequalities, the treatment of shop workers who produce the items we consume, and even the effects that plant based mass production has on indigenous people and lands. We know that everything is connected, so to look at only the food itself is ignoring the root of some of these problems: racism, sexism, classism, ableism, speciesism, and more. Now, if you Google or search on Instagram vegan, most of the pictures and videos that come up are of white people smiling with bright, fresh from the farmer's market food, which leads a lot of people to our third myth that being vegan is a new thing that only hippies or rich white people are associated with. Yep, I went there. But being vegetarian or vegan isn't new, and it isn't rooted in white Western culture. You may be surprised to know that the history of veganism dates back 2,000 years and has deep roots in India, the Mediterranean basin, and Africa, and has played a significant role in religion and national customs. Even to this day, Greece, India, and Israel are the leading vegan countries. Where does America stand? Well, we have the largest number of meat eaters per capita, more than anywhere in the world, eating about 220 pounds of meat per year. But within the country, studies have shown that Black Americans are almost 3 times as likely to be vegan and vegetarian than other Americans. Although vegan and vegetarian diets have a long history, the modern term vegan was coined in 1944 by Donald Watson, co-founder of the Vegan Society, which is another reason why some people associate it as a new idea. Now, the vegans that date back centuries were mostly driven by necessity. But as I said, the vegans of today see many health benefits to living a vegan lifestyle, which leads me to one of the biggest myths that all vegans are unhealthy. A lot of people think that we don't get vital nutrients and vitamins, and I actually really love to debunk this one because I think it's important for everyone to understand the food that we as humans put into our bodies and why. It does have a few pieces to it, though. The big piece people love to talk about is protein. Data has consistently shown that people consume more than the average recommended daily intake of protein. This is due to health marketers and the meat and dairy industries pushing more meat, more protein powders, more supplements, and people thinking that mass amounts of protein is actually associated with weight loss, which is a whole other subject that I really encourage you to look into. The truth is, if you're eating a healthy, whole foods diet, you're getting enough protein. Vegans get their protein from a variety of plant sources, including legumes, soy products, grains, nuts, and seeds. And if you're worried about how to build muscle, there is a whole host of athletes who are vegan and aren't worried that they're not getting enough protein, including football star Colin Kaepernick, NBA star Kyrie Irving, MMA fighter James Wilkes, and even tennis star Venus Williams.
You know what's nuts? The number of ingredients in wasteful packaging and milk production. But you know what else is nuts? Joy's almond and cashew nut bases. It's literally nuts, and that's it. It's a perfect milk substitute without the wasteful packaging and unnecessary ingredients. It's nuts that only one tub of Joy can save up to 7 milk cartons from a landfill. It's nuts that it can sit on your shelf for up to 18 months. It's nuts that Lena can make queso with this stuff. And to be honest, her food has never been better, but don't tell her I said that. And it's nuts that you can get 10% off of your order by using the code Lena Sanford when you visit addjoi.com. Go nuts!
So the next thing people say is, well, you're not getting enough calcium because vegans don't drink milk. Fun fact, milk is not necessary for any diet. Everything in milk can be found in whole, plant-based foods like leafy kale, broccoli, bok choy, and more, with even added bonuses that milk doesn't have, like fiber, folate, iron, antioxidants, and the bone health superstar, vitamin K. And the calcium actually absorbs better in our system from plants versus dairy milk. Dairy milk increases the risk of obesity, high cholesterol, and constipation because of the high saturated fat and cholesterol content. So, yeah, I think I'll pass on those and stick to my non dairy alternatives. Thanks. And the last piece of the vegans are unhealthy myth is that some people think too much soy in the vegan diet can cause hormonal issues and breast cancer due to estrogen in the soy. Let's bust this one up because plants actually have phytoestrogens, which is different than the estrogen produced from humans and animals. They mimic estrogen when taken into the body, but not all phytoestrogens are made the same. Some act as an estrogenic and some act as an anti-estrogenic. But overall, studies show that phytoestrogens lead to decreased cholesterol levels, improved menopausal symptoms, and a lower risk of osteoporosis and certain cancers, and can actually help to fight breast cancer. And due to the fact that most animals for production are pumped with steroid hormones, especially poultry, consumers of those products are unfortunately at a higher risk for breast cancer. I will say that there are unhealthy ways to be a vegan, including ultra processed junk foods or eating only fake meats and cheeses and not making sure you're eating a well rounded diet to get all of the nutrients you should be getting. But all of that information probably has your head spinning, and you may be thinking the mental image of vegans you've had is completely disrupted. Vegans are strong mentally and physically. Being vegan can help to reduce your risk of heart disease, lower your chances of getting cancer, and even help to manage and prevent diabetes, as well as a slew of other benefits. So you may be saying, okay, Lena, that all sounds great, but another myth is that vegan food is too expensive. Is it? Consider this: the average cost of a boneless chicken breast per pound is a little over $3, while a pound of dry beans will usually run about $1.39 and yield much more servings than meat. Vegan staples are rice, beans, pasta, fruits, and vegetables, all staples that cost very little and most people already have in their kitchen anyways. While the average price of organic fruits and vegetables is higher than non-organic by about $1, you're still looking at a shopping cart that's cheaper than an omnivore's. The average price of ground beef on the lowest end is about $3.82, and it's still about the same price compared to even some of the highest rated organic items, like organic cherries or potatoes. You can even reduce that high organic price tag by shopping sales and stocking up, comparing unit prices, or even growing your own seasonal fruits and veggies so that you're reducing the amount that you need to buy. So, being vegan doesn't mean you have to spend your whole paycheck on food. And the last myth is that vegan food isn't filling or tasty. Well, we know that legumes, vegetables, and nuts are all really great options that keep you feeling full for a long time. And again, they are staples on a vegan plate, so you can cross that one off your list. As far as the flavor, I've never had more nutritious, exciting, and flavorful food than when I started eating vegan. One of my favorite things is to make food for people without telling them it's vegan and see their reactions about how good it tastes. But you'll have to taste that theory for yourself. One of the easiest ways to dip your toes into plant-based or vegan eating is to take your favorite go-to meals and instead of cooking with meat or dairy, use non-dairy, flavorful substitutions and see the difference. So there you have it, 6 common vegan myths quickly debunked. If you have any friends or family that need to hear this, make sure you hit share. So let us wrap up. It all comes down to what works for each individual and their lifestyle. But hopefully, shedding a light on some of these myths will help to squash the beef and let people understand what it really means to be a vegan. For more resources, you can always visit lenasanford.com/hometown earth. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hometown Earth as much as I did. Let us know by rating and subscribing so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week on Tuesday. Head to the show notes linked in the episode description for more details and let us know in the comments what you want to hear next. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Believe.com and @Believe Podcasts. And you can find more about the podcast on Instagram at Hometown Earth or connect with me at Lena Sanford. We all know change needs to happen, so let's get started right here at Hometown Earth.